Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my summer TBR video. I have a few holidays planned, so I'm hoping to get a little bit of reading done. I've got a mix of genres here, not too much fantasy. I feel like fantasy doesn't really fit in the summer. I will still be reading fantasy books. I don't have any in mind that I'm planning to get to for the summer just because, I don't know, if you guys have any like summer fantasy recommendations, let me know, because I always really struggle to think of what fantasy books would be good to read in the summer. Let's start off with romances. So for romances, I really want to get to an Annabelle Monaghan book or a Vari McFarlane book. I've heard a lot about these from Hayley Pham, who is probably my favourite booktuber in terms of she has the most similar taste to me. I feel like every time she likes a book, I like it, and every time she dislikes a book, I don't like it. I'll have read the book before I've even watched her video, and then we'll have the same opinion on it. So I trust her recommendations a lot. She has always recommended Annabelle Monaghan and Vari McFarlane so much, and I've never read one of their romances, so I really want to give them a go. I've heard them kind of similar to Emily Henry in terms of subplot and romance. I'm not sure if that was Vari McFarlane or Annabelle Monaghan or both, but I really do want to get to some of these. So we've got Same Time Next Summer or Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I just went with the ones with summer in the title because I thought that's probably going to be the most summery of them. You never know sometimes. I definitely want to get to one of these. Summer Romance has a better Goodreads review, so maybe I'll start with that one. For Vari McFarlane, I have Just Last Night, the one I've chosen, but we'll see, maybe I'll choose a different one. Next, in terms of romance, I have The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, or You With a View as well. I haven't heard as good things about You With a View as I have heard about The X-Files. I don't know if they're like connected. I'm guessing that they are connected, but you can read them as a standalone, so I might just read The X-Files as I've heard better things about The X-Files. I think it looks like a really summer reread, and I do like to get into my romances in the summer because they're very quick and easy, and they just give a lot more of the summer vibes than a fantasy. I like to have a few romances under my belt, and I've heard great things about that one last year. I just never got around to it, so I'm very excited to maybe get around to that one. I'm guessing from the title The X-Files that they are exes. Actually, let me give you some descriptions of some of these books, because otherwise I'm just shouting books at you and not giving you a description. It's just that I don't really go into books with much knowledge on them ever. So Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. So Ali's life has kind of gone to pieces. Her mum died, her husband left. She meets someone, but she just kind of wants it to be a summer fling, I'm gathering. Obviously it probably won't end up being a summer romance. So that one sounds good. And then Same Time Next Summer, she has a fiance. I hope there's no cheating, guys. She's touring a wedding venue and she sees a guy who broke her heart when she was 17. She has to make a choice between them. Well, I hope there's no cheating. That one doesn't sound as much my vibe. I don't really like it when the character has someone and like who's... I feel really bad when they're nice. Maybe he's not nice and then that'll be fine because he won't be nice. But when they're like nice and then they just like break up with them, I'm like, oh, bless them. Just Last Night. So we've got a friendship group, but Eve is secretly in love with Ed in the friendship group. But then in an instant their lives are changed forever, and in the aftermath, Eve's world is upended. As stunning secrets are revealed, she begins to wonder if she really knew her friends as well as she thought. Is this a murder mystery? When someone from the past comes back into her life, Eve's future veers in a surprising new direction. Ah, is that a love triangle? I'm scared. I don't like love triangles, but we'll see. And then The X-Files. Estranged exes must stick close together to save their best friend's wedding. I do love a second chance romance. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit of a sucker for a second chance romance. So they're going to be the best woman and the best man at the wedding. Then we've got Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. This one has been described as similar to Out on a Limb. I think it's pregnancy trope again, but it's like, I don't mind pregnancy trope when it's the point of the book. Like Out on a Limb, like the point of the book is that she is pregnant from a one-night stand, like that is the plot. When it's a surprise pregnancy trope, that's another thing. I don't really like that. I really liked Out on a Limb. I gave it 5 stars. So I've heard Ready or Not is similar but not too similar that it feels like you're reading the same book. It just also has the pregnancy trope in it. I believe that she has a best friend who isn't the father of the child in this one, so it's a bit different to Out on a Limb, and he like steps up and everything, and I think the romance is between them. Oh, this girl's also called Eve. And then finally for romance I had Pardon? I have Swift and Saddled, which is the second one in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I read the first one in the Rebel Blue Ranch series and I didn't have the best review on it, but maybe I wasn't in the mood to read such like an easy cowboy romance. I feel like you need to just be out of a really long fantasy or something and just want a really easy book, and maybe I wasn't in the right mood. And I've heard great things, so I'm like, maybe I should give it another shot, and if I don't like it again, then I won't continue. But they're very short books, like they literally don't take very long to read at all, so it's not really like that big of a deal if I read it and I don't like it. But I do want to give it another shot because I would like to get to the third one, because I would like to know what happens with those characters, because you get them from the first book. Oh, I have one more for romance, which is literally like on my physical TBR because it's on my Kindle, and that is The Right Move. Yeah, because I'm gonna skip Mile High. So sorry, I've heard bad things about it, so I'm going to skip it and I'm going to go straight on to The Right Move. And I believe they're sports romances, something probably moving house, maybe they have to move in together. I don't know, I like going in blind, but I believe it's a sports romance. I believe they're billionaires or something. Sign me up. I've never read a sport, well, I've read Icebreaker. Other than that, I've never read one. So I'd be interested to see if I like them. That's all I have for romances. I'm not that into romances as I used to be. I won't read romances back to back most of the time. I've read so many now, a lot of them are very samey. I don't like reading them one after the other because I just feel like I get in a bit of a slump. In the summer, I do love a romance, and especially like a summery romance. When you're on the beach, you got to read a little summery romance, haven't you? I'm very excited to get back into the romance genre a little bit. I have read 2 romances back to back recently anyway. Great Big Beautiful Life and Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. I guess you could also call The Conditions of Will by Jess Hastings a romance. I don't think her books can ever really be described as romance. They're more, I don't know what you'd call them. Because Magnolia Parks is like drama, but I don't know if this one's like drama as well. I don't really know what this one is like. I know that it's like kind of a standalone away from Magnolia Parks on that, but I think there is still like a reference to some of the characters. I've seen a reference to Daisy, I think. That would be fun to see. I've almost finished the last Magnolia Parks book, and obviously we don't have the Last Days of Kate's one yet, so once I finish the last Magnolia Parks book, then I do want to jump into the Conditions of Will by Jess Hastings. But yeah, I don't really think you can call her books a romance. I know that there is a romance in this one, and I feel like it might be more of a romance than Magnolia Parks is. I think it might be more of a simple romance maybe than Magnolia Parks is, who knows. But I think it's more just following our main character and her life. In the more literary fiction area, we obviously have, I'd say The Conditions of Will fall into that, but we also have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is Taylor Jenkins Reid's first new book outside of her celebrity series in a while. I'm so sad because I loved her celebrity series, but I get she probably wants to do something new, and I totally understand that. I haven't heard too many reviews, but it's got a 4.47 on Goodreads. I don't know if it's out yet, but a 4.47 is really good if it is out. If it's not out, then that's more understandable because it's people with arcs. Oh yeah, not yet published. 3rd of June. From the arcs, it's got really good reviews, and I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read some of her books that are outside her celebrity series, and I've liked those, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, I think it's about an astronaut set against the backdrop of the 1980s space shuttle program about the extraordinary lengths that we go to live and love beyond our limits. Joan Goodwin has been obsessed with the stars for as long as she can remember. Thoughtful and reserved, Joan is content with her life as a professor of physics and astronomy at Rice University, and as aunt to her precocious niece. That is until she comes across an advertisement seeking the first woman scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. Oh, it might be a love triangle. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like love triangles, but there's a lot of 5 stars. Someone's review for it is just 5-star with goddammit full stop. Next we've got The Favourites. Is that literary fiction? I don't know. I believe it's about 2 ice skaters, figure skaters. I've heard it compared to Magnolia Parks, but I've also heard people say like nothing like Magnolia Parks, but I think it's like in that genre where it's a bit like a drama that you're watching unfold. I've also heard people relate it to Daisy Jones and the Six, I think. So I'm very intrigued. I'm guessing it's going to be 2 figure skaters who have a lot of drama between them, and is it going to be told in an interview style, or is it just the drama between them that's like Daisy Jones and the Six? I don't know. it very much intrigues me and I've seen some amazing reviews for it, so I definitely want to read that. And we've got My Friends by Frederick Buckman, which is his new book that came out very recently. I love his books. I've read Anxious People, 5-star, Beartown 4 or a 4.5, I can't remember. I need to continue the Beartown series, but every time I go to Waterstones they only have the third and not the second, and I know I could just buy it online or get it from the library. I don't know why I just haven't, but I'm very excited to read a new one by him. I actually have no clue what it's about. Should we look together? 4 teenagers whose friendship creates a bond so powerful that it changes a stranger's life 25 years later. I just love his books, like honestly I don't even care what it's about. So there's a friendship group who end up being put in a famous painting, and the painting is put into 18-year-old Louisa's care. She goes on a journey to discover how the painting came to be. The closer she gets to the painting's birthplace, the more she feels compelled to unleash her own artistic spirit, but happy endings don't always take the form we expect in this fresh testament to the transformative power of friendship and art. His books are just always so interesting. I only have one fantasy on my list for this summer, and that is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, who wrote One Dark Window. I've heard amazing reviews for it. I don't know if it's out yet. I did like One Dark Window. It was like a 4-star duology for me. It wasn't the most amazing thing I've ever read, but I did really enjoy it, and so I'm excited to see what she does next. And I've heard people prefer this to One Dark Window, and her books are just very different. They're like a gothic fantasy, and I don't read a lot of those, so I quite enjoy. Sorry about that, my memory card ran out. I was actually very nearly finished, so it was really rude to interrupt me when I was nearly finished. But yeah, I read a gothic fantasy which was Phantasma, but that wasn't young adult, and I didn't really enjoy it as much because I don't know how I didn't enjoy it as much not being a young adult, but I think One Dark Window is, and I preferred a gothic fantasy in a young adult form. I don't know if I'm really a gothic fantasy girl in adult form, and I don't know if this is a young adult book, but I'm excited to see what it's like. Oh, it's a series. Prophetess who is forced beyond the safety of her cloister on an impossible quest to defeat the gods with the one light whose future is beyond her sight. Okay, so she can tell people their futures, but she can't read his future. So she has dreams where she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as omens. From them she can predict terrible things before they occur. Sirius Knight arrives at the cathedral, rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome. The knight, Roderick, who remembers Roderick, what a guy, has no respect for Sybil's visions, but when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. I don't know if it's young adult, it doesn't say. But I've had a lot of good reviews from people who have the ARC, so I'm very, very excited to read that one. And that is the books that I have on my summer TBR. There's not too many. I feel like there are probably so many I'm missing that are coming out in the next few months. But do let me know if there's any that I've missed that you're excited to read. Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe down below and turn the bell on. You will be notified every time that I upload. If you want to, you can follow my social medias at _libraryofeden on both TikTok and Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye!